And later on, I discovered that I was part of the 6th division, which is Cicada, 3301. And so they've been I've been working with them to help them to identify and to solve some of the problems. So you're asking what the ACIO is. It is kind of an omnipresence, but not intended to just not intended to drive humanity in any particular direction. I mean, I think they would like to see harmony, but I don't think that they're behind the one world order. You see what I'm saying? They think we should be getting along. They think that we should have some kind of, construct of discipline and respect of one another and that kind of thing. Not everyone complies with that, but some of these extreme agendas are not coming from them. They're trying to somehow balance it. And when we have a major incident, Peter usually leaves. He goes off on a mission. So that kind of tries to offset whatever's happening. So this is the 1st division. And so it's saying it's diverse because of all the other ET races were here. They were involved. And so the Council of Five was a council of with a larger group, but then it narrowed down to a council of five different races that decided to continue on. Okay, so this is Division 80 through 140, which is the second group.
Is that a good slide, or should I go to another one?
No, that's good. I mean, yeah. I can just we can go through it and okay. So they are responsible for sorting alien races into 3 categories, also subcategories. What they do is, if an alien race comes in, and so even if it's from another universe, they go through the category. This is their process of sharing, whether or not they're good cooperative, good neutral, good experimental. Like they're here to experiment but not harming anyone. Neutral is the second category of all those. And then invasive, are they here to take our resources? Are they here to take our energy, or for people? Invasive for people. And these are the type of things, the third category is when they have contacted me to help them find certain ones that are invasive or doing certain things, and I can help locate and identify, which is one of my abilities. And so, and as well as the missions of the soldiers are involved with some of these invasive groups. So we can go on to the next one.
Sure. And well, you had it because you talk about the Intergalactic Council. So you explained, the connection that you had with Gary, right? That's part of the Council of Five, but probably few people knew, you had, was it previously you had the 12 and then the 10 and the 22, or it's concurrent?
Oh, yeah. Those are different groups. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are different. There's multiple councils. I've dealt with many different councils, but I was even brought to the Pleiadian Council when I was with Andronicus. I sat in a seat next to him, and I was listening into one of their discussions. But I don't belong to them. My agreements are with the Intergalactic Council, and we're not here to make war with other galactic races. It's more of, everything should be harmonious but let me just explain something, and I think you'll understand this way. When you have a property, right, if there aren't any parameters and people start, coming into your house and just opening the door and just, decide they're going to take your keys and take your car for a drive, and you say, that crosses my parameters. Okay, so that's a conflict. Likewise, in the galaxy, when you are, crossing over when another race comes in and they start taking things or doing things or jumping in or trying to, hijack humans or whatever, that's crossing the line, right? So I know that some people say, well, you've supported the Greys do this, or you're interacting with them, or no, I never consented to any of it. And the ACIO does not support any type of MyLabbing or anything like that. We have absolutely nothing to do with it. But Peter has talked about MyLabs, so some people have then twisted it, thinking that, oh, he's supporting it, but he's not. He's not. There's nothing like that. He's trying to reveal it. He's trying to let people know so that they're awake enough to not say no to it. And I've said that many times. And MyLabs are not assisting soldiers. It's different. The MyLabs are taking from you. It's using your energy for something or harming you. Sometimes even taking some of your intelligence away, wiping your memory, which is different from, this is another very, very important thing I want to express, is that a lot of soldiers are upset because their memory's gone. And I was explaining to someone the other night that if you're in the military, like general, like U.S. Army or Navy or whatever, and you're literally in a war, when you leave, before you leave and you're finished with your term, you cannot talk about those things that happen. You're not supposed to talk about them. Sometimes those soldiers will actually not remember certain things through some form of mind control. It's very, very typical for soldiers to have their memory wiped because the missions and very, very important information can get leaked. That is different than people who are in MyLabs and they're just being tampered with without anything to benefit or help humanity at all. But soldiers, when you agree to be a soldier, you also agree that some of your information should not be public. And so you know that. So I just want to differentiate that because a lot of people get confused about that part. Okay, so
thank you for doing this, Jessica. It was worth mentioning.
Yeah, it's a really good and very important point, because I think a lot of people trip over that and they don't understand the difference. And when Peter's doing disclosure, he doesn't have time to explain the intricacies of certain things and the triggering points of things, the sensitivity of it. So, and I ask people just write down the questions and then I try to answer afterwards. So, and likewise when we do the show, just to make sure things are clear. Okay, so this is Division 141 to 210, and these are, let's see. So, all right, so these are kind of the groups, the organizations that exist. They're similar to like the United Nations and NATO, but they're not NATO. They're not the UN. They're not anything like that. But every type of organization that we have on the earth is based off of galactic organizations. So, like we say, we look at our judicial system and we go back to Rome because Rome first created it. Likewise, the earth has learned to create organizations from the galactics. So that's what these divisions covers, 141 to 210. And the main role of the group of the divisions to fit and coordinate these organizations in the best way possible. It's the gathering to be able to make decisions, and that's all it is. But obviously, I'm sure they cover a lot of very important topics. like maybe even what will be the outcome of humanity if this happens, or things that concern our planet.
Thank you, Jessica. We're gonna go to the next one.
Okay.
And Jessica, there was a quick question. So while I'm going to the next slide, the question was why there's many divisions.
There's so many things that need to be covered, and each division has a specific role that helps them to organize in the way that is necessary. Remember, it's like, so we have different nations here. They have different species, and so all those different species coming together, organizing, coordinating. There's a lot that goes on our planet. There's so much that people don't think about. There's travelers. There's always been travelers in our reality, and when things like that happen, or someone comes in, and there's a portal comes in, and before you know it, it affects our reality. It's like maybe the Mandela effect, or the butterfly effect, or something shifts and changes things in a lot of different ways. And so a division 211 to 250 is here it says the fourth group of the divisions is trying to keep ACIO's operations as low profile as possible. That's what I said early on, that they really intended and have always been in the background until now. And sometimes it is very hard a task to achieve, but unpredicted things happen, and then there could be bleed-throughs into our reality, or our reality is not properly aligned to cover the operations, especially when it comes to time travel. So when things, say for example, there's travelers. There's always been travelers in our reality, and when things like that happen, or someone comes in, and there's a portal comes in, and before you know it, it affects our reality. It's like maybe the Mandela effect, or the butterfly effect, or something shifts and changes things in a lot of different ways. And so when you have these glitches in the matrix, so someone has to fix that. That's what these divisions do. And that's a lot, because if you use the science and mathematics and all that goes into all of this, is a really intricate and very, very difficult job.
Mm-hmm. And during your shows, part of those group can be, or maybe known as cleaners. Is that fair to say?
It could be. I would say cleaners, calculators, mathematicians. There's a lot going on here, because it's like the matrix itself is extremely complex. It's not like I know that humanity's getting pretty good at creating, video and able to replicate certain things, but it does not have the density and the substance that is involved in this. So yeah, it's more complex. They use levels of math that we don't understand, and all sorts of other sciences are involved.
Got you. And so that was the fourth group, all right, of division. So now we do have, let me check what's next. So Jessica, can we talk about the group you're involved with, or it's confidential?
The sixth division? Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay. Let's talk about it, if you don't mind. Is it after this one,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah, because this is the sixth division,
Okay.
and this is linking. This is the 5th Division's Lincoln Clay's operations, which we talked about, Lincoln, and Black Ops.
Yeah. All right. So, people, we're gonna go to. I do want to cover this. All right. So this is the. I was jumping out to. That's the 7 group.
7th.
All right. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the group that you're involved with.
Okay. So we had a discussion. Peter and I had a discussion and said that told me that he saw that I was in the 6th Division, and I knew that I had been working for them for a while because I was communicating and providing information, and they would have me ID and figure out different things that were happening on the planet and even in the astral, as well as in other dimensional fields, or sometimes I see things before they come in. And often that happens. And so it's mostly they're accessing my information to be able to help them to assess certain things. And also, like I said, there was criminals and different that are here that are not supposed to be here, and I'll see them. I'll give you an example.
Sure.
Before I met, like early on when I met Peter, I was getting visions of this. It was a Nazi. He was coming up through a manhole in New York City, and I was watching him. I was seeing him going down a corridor, going up a manhole, and then I saw this high-rise building in New York, and I saw that there was a group that was meeting there. And so I said to Peter, I said, "There's," and I looked. I could see him clearly, and I started doing research of who he was, and I found out it was Reinhard Heydrich. Seventh group is about the free energy technologies, which they have all of that. I see people, it really hurts me when I see people talk about the med beds and everything, and it's just like all of this stuff that, forcing us to get electric cars when it's still using gas and energy, when everything should have been free, but because they don't make money off of it, they're fighting us. And it's frustrating, but they have everything. They have everything there. People like Tesla was in contact with the ACIO. People like Al Bielek was in contact with the ACIO. Peter knew them.
So repeat that again. Tesla and Al Bielek.
Al Bielek, yeah, and others as well. Yeah, he was in contact with Valiant Thor. So which makes you wonder about Peter's real age.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's in his 40s or so, or early 40s. Yep.
All right.
So yeah. Yep.
So if we go, what's next? The 8th group.
This the 8th group. Yeah, there's it's talking about gateways, other timelines, realities, worlds, stabilizing the portals. And portals are very important. We have many problems when there is a portal that shows up or a bleed through. And so someone has to, fix it, replace it, remove the distortion. And so there's a whole team that takes care of that. So you can see there's many different aspects of our reality that needs to be maintained. We just assume that it exists as it exists. And just like we have to clean our house and take care of things. Everything has a form of operations. And so that's pretty much it.